Hello guys, welcome back to the FIRL channel, your wormhole from TradFi to DeFi. This episode, we're going to talk about the current bull market-ish. He hasn't really hit the previous high, certain coins, yes. But yeah, we're going to talk about, is this sustainable? And then, what we are doing personally and, what we should do going forward. As usual, nothing of what we say in this video should be taken as financial advice. If you actually need financial advice, please speak to a pro. So, Brad, I think we start with why is the bull market so-called bull market? Because it's not really a bull market. It's just more like a jump, a joke in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Or some people call it dead cat bounce, right? But we'll talk about it later. Why is the bull market happening? What do you think?
My own thoughts, and I'm curious to hear yours later because you're seeing some patterns in the stock world as well, right? Actually, personally, I just find it, I don't time the market per se, but I think some of the catalysts that may be spurring this rally, and if you're kind of new to crypto, right, do know that most of the rallies do begin first with Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin rises like for $1,000, all your altcoins can go up like 10%, 20% easily, right? If you haven't already known, Terra, Luna, has this foundation called the Luna Foundation Guard, which has a huge treasury of billions of dollars. They are buying $135 million of Bitcoin every single day. And this is on top of most exchanges like your Binance, your Huobi, your KuCoin, already having depleted supply of Bitcoin. And if they are constantly slurping up the Bitcoin from these exchanges, right, that means that there's less supply of the Bitcoin. And if the demand is consistent, because they're basically going to be buying it over the next 3 months, right, of Bitcoin, that means that, hey, generally Bitcoin price goes up. And if Bitcoin price goes up, the whole market usually responds favorably, and then the prices of crypto also pump at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the major precursors that I'm seeing right now. How about you? What you mentioned seeing similar? You mentioned seeing similar patterns in the stock market. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. So if you look at Bitcoin's all-time high was about 69,000.
Yeah.
Today it's at 50, I believe.
Now it's about 47 or 48.
47, right? Okay. Ethereum all-time high was
4.8.
4.8. Today is 4.
3.4.
3.4. Sorry. Yeah. So
I spend so much time on the charts, man.
I don't keep track on the damn boomer coins, But no, I mean, jokes aside, right? So actually, the same thing is pretty much happening in like the equity markets and so-called TradFi world. So S&P 500 is actually only 4% off all-time high, right? Chinese stocks like Alibaba, Tencent rallied 60%, right, in a span of like a week or two.
This is since their bottom, right? A few weeks
From their
ago.
bottom, yes. Why is that? I think it's a combination of two things, right? The first is that the talk about the Federal Reserve raising interest rate and all that has kind of died down, right? Because initially the anticipation was they'll do like 7, 8 rate hikes, and then there was a panic and then it dropped. Then of course the Russian-Ukraine war now is at, I haven't kept super up to date on it, but it seems there's a lot more talking now. There's still war going on, but there's no shock element. If let's say, you hear people like bombings happening the first time, then the markets will get spooked. Yeah. But now that the bombings have keep going on, every new bombing is not going to spook the market because it's like, it's just Putin doing Putin things, right? A shock would be like if he managed to annex Kiev, for example. Yeah. An annexation of Ukraine would represent probably some sort of shock, because right now, at least from where I stand, is Putin struggling with Ukraine, for example.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that there's been this bounce back, but there's no fundamental reason why any of this is happening to me, right? Especially in the short term. So yeah, that's why I think it's happening.
I mean, the reason I wanted to know what's happening exactly in the traditional finance world, the equities market, is because it's undeniable that crypto and the equity market has some correlation. It's not exactly deviated that largely yet. Whatever happens in the crypto market, whatever happens in the stock market, if it pumps, crypto pumps as well. If it tanks, crypto tanks as well. So I just want to have a sense of, and this is something that I feel, sometimes I think having a bull market or having crypto prices go up so fast is a little bit more stressful than when it actually tanks, because if it tanks, the default thing that most of us do is just diamond hand hodl, right? As much as it's a meme, it's also a way of life,
Yeah.
So what are your personal thoughts on this bull market? What actions are you taking personally?
I think the market as a whole for crypto, from what, and again, I have no proof for this, but my sense is that there's no new money coming in. Why could be that as the pandemic starts to recede and become an endemic, people spend less time speculating, and actually now they got like real jobs, right? They have to do, right? And in Malaysia, today actually, this filming will be the last day for work from home.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, everybody will
31st of
be
March.
WFO now, work from office. Once things like that happen, right, there's no time to work, and then 15 minutes later, oh, look at this Twitter thread, no more, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think new money is coming in. And a lot of this that is happening is, some would say manipulated. I would just say that it's a market where it's just DeFi people just battling it out on where the market's going.
A PvP market rather than...
Yeah, in that sense. So what am I doing personally is that I'm still like hodling most things, right?
Yeah.
On the NFT side, more or less, again, hodling, there's not much really happening.
Yeah.
Also because a lot of the NFTs we minted were rubbish. So
Sad.
yeah. So there's that. In terms of maybe because it's not in a, at least from where I see, not in a sustainable bull market.
Yeah.
I will need a little bit more cash, waiting on the sidelines. Thank God, we are in Terra, so we have a very nice place to park our cash, right? Where you can, depending on the amount you get, you can have like $5 every day, right? You can see, and then you can shock sendiri, $5, $5. That's one lunch every day, right? So that's what I'm doing personally. I explain why. What are you doing personally?
I have been trying to sell a little bit of some of my larger holdings because I look at it a bit more mechanically in the sense that I would like my portfolio to be
Balanced.
30% of this, 20% of this, and this pump hasn't been the most fair pump. Some have pumped more than the others, so I'm trying to arbitrarily get it to a more even, at least in a percentage or a split that I'm more comfortable with.
Rotator.
But the problem is, and this is again more than anything, is human psychology, right? And I'm not sure if any of you degens or any of you normal listeners out there listening, do you have this problem? Because if I sell it and then I wake up the next day, it goes up at 20%. I'm dealing with this a bit better now, but then again, there's always that FOMO and the fear of trying to buy back into a crypto that you sold at a lower price. But I have taken profits. I have taken profits off Luna a little bit at 105. Well, it's about 107 right now. Doesn't bother me at all, promise. And I do want to take a bit of profit.
I took some at 95, so.
Sorry, never bad thing to take profits, right? And yeah, I've been buying a little bit more of some other tokens, some that we may or may not have covered in this channel. But essentially, I think one thing that I do want to bring up is my time horizon for crypto has always been the next 3 to 5 years, right? Because I think this space is moving so fast. Even in a year, we might not, whatever we're talking about here may be obsolete or may be so much different than what it is right now.
I think that, like you said, being long-term in crypto is rare.
Yeah.
But, I think I've said this before in previous videos, the guys who make the most money are those that hodl since the beginning. Right? Of course, there are traders who have done very well and go in and out. There will always be such instance, but most of our listeners are not that degen in that sense. So the question is, what strategy you can adopt given your likely lifestyle of having a day job, of perhaps having a family to tend to, or even if you're a student, you have studies. So that what is the right, the best way, I would say, to invest in the crypto, and it is to have a long-term mindset, because the big edge you can have, very few people are thinking where crypto prices, blockchain development or crypto development will be in 6 months, let alone 6 years. So you want to operate on a plane, if you can, on where crypto can be further out, because there's fewer people thinking and competing with you on that. That's what a lot of the hodlers were thinking. Right? For them, it's like, in 10 years, it's as simple as in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
Governments, 10 years ago, all they had to say was in 10 years' time, there'll be governments using Bitcoin. And it has truly happened, right? Exactly. And from now, you just say, okay, in 10 years' time, will there be more governments using Bitcoin? Yes, no. Yes, hold. No, sell. And that is very simple, but that's where the that's where you can get the best returns for your hassle. Most people like to think of returns in ROI, how much they make and all that. It's also about return on hassle. How much do you have to work to get that return?
So I think to add to your point, if my personal horizon is 3 to 5 years, now I remember what I want to say. My portfolio has always been a reflection of what I'm comfortable putting into crypto. It's not 90% of my net worth. It's not my emergency fund. I don't have $10 in my bank account because all of it's in crypto. It reflects my current lifestyle, what I believe crypto will be, and I would say it's not irresponsible. So that allows me to sleep better at night, and I think that is also the reason why I'm more comfortable, looking down the road for 3 to 5 years, personally.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you were our student a couple of years ago, that's exactly what we shared with you, is that a portfolio is just a mirror on what you want. So that's why it's quite pointless to compare what you have with someone else, let's say, his composition of his portfolio, because he has his goals, right? And it's not necessarily yours, he or she.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's how I will put it.
Yep. Just want to end today's video by saying, it's a personal reminder to everyone here watching and also myself when I rewatch this video, if I need to. This is not going to be a last bull market, and this does not mean the bear market has ended. I think it is a futile attempt on my part, at least, not being a trader, right, to predict where the markets are going. I hold projects that I strongly believe in, that I really want to hold for the next 3 to 5 years at least. And I take profit or I top up more based on my conviction level of these projects, not so much on a lot of this short-term fundamental news, personally. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Well, if you watched all the way until this point, definitely you loved the video, which means you are now forced to share with your friends and family who might find this video useful. And of course, follow us on our other socials, Telegram, Instagram, all that. And I will see you in the next video.
Ciao.